What's going on, folks, and welcome back to Stu's Garage. Today is going to be a very good day because I finally have my motor back. So basically, as you guys know that have been following along, I've been waiting on this thing forever. Part of the drama that was basically behind this thing was originally you guys saw that I spun a rod bearing on the motor when we took this thing out to the track for testing, and I got it down to the shop, dropped it off, and the numbers that they were talking about to replace that rod bearing, they just didn't sound right to me. So I ended up letting go of that motor. Jones Performance actually hooked me up with this motor. It was a perfectly good running motor. I took it, I refreshed everything, so this is basically a 0-mile motor at this point. It's not the same as what I had before. I'll probably make a little bit less power on this one. This is still a real LS motor, and it's definitely going to be angrier than the last motor. I just don't know if it's going to make quite as much power, but we'll see. That remains to be seen. So basically what we have here is we've already got the timing set up, everything on the front end wise, minus the accessories which are over there. We're not going to do that just yet. I still need to put on the rear main seal and rear cover, whatever that thing is called, this piece here, and need to put on the clutch, make that to the transmission, put on motor mounts, and then we're good to go ahead. Oh yeah, oil pan, then we can go ahead, drop that thing down into here. I'm doing this on a little bit of a short notice, so I don't know if anybody from the crew is going to be here to help me out today, but based on the modifications I've made to the chassis, I may actually be able to get this thing in here by myself, so we'll see. There's not really a whole lot for me to explain because you guys have seen me do all of this stuff before, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and set up the camera and just do a little bit of a montage. So let's go ahead and get work done. Alright folks, so shortly after I cut off the camera, just a second ago, the very first screw that I grabbed, I dropped it down the motor, and I had to take the motor apart just to find the screw stuck like inside the bottom of the piston. I put that back together, and fast forward, it's 4 weeks later, and the motor is basically fully assembled and it's inside the car, and I'm pretty much putting on the final touches right now. The wiring harness is partially hooked up, all the accessories are on, everything's pretty much attached. I'm making some small changes. Like you saw like a couple of videos back, I redid the entire core support, so that has no provisions for the radiator. So I'm working on that right now, but there is something cool that I had to change. Just these little things that I had to fabricate. I want to kind of show them to you. So if you look way down there, I don't know, you probably can't even see it, but if you see that little black thing right there, I had to kind of make a stud off of the starter because I just couldn't get my starter wire to clear. I don't know why I got it to clear last time. This time I couldn't get it to clear the headers. So I made a stud that comes off of the starter. Matter of fact, just go ahead and take a closer look at that. Alright, so yeah, this is the stud that comes off of the starter, and this is actually the starter wire, so it basically pulls 180 degrees and goes straight back and it clears the headers. So that's one thing. The headers are on and everything, that's cool. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually making 2 more studs off of the core support. I've got them taped on right now, and I'm going to go ahead and tack them on in place because there's no other way to hold those. And I drilled 2 holes in the bottom of the radiator, and it's going to hang on there like such. And then I'm actually going to do thumb screws at the top of here, and I'm going to say goodbye to my beloved zip ties that I've been rocking for so long, and just for a more solid setup. So here's a view of the motor again. Looks really cool. I'm super excited. Got ourselves a good ground connection. Fire up the welder. Alright, so that's done. that's how the studs turned out, if you can even see them. There you go. There's one, and that's the other one. Super interesting, right? But anyways, I've also got these little bushings. I think I actually got them when I got these power steering pumps, but I'm gonna throw these bushings on here like so, just to give the radiator a little bit of cushion. So I tighten it down on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with a little bit of paint real quick, and then slap the radiator on and finish up doing what's up top. Perfect fit. Alright folks, there's a Drift Fox update. Like I said, we got the throttle hooked up, the clutch is hooked up, most of the coolant lines are hooked up. I need a couple of little hose clamps. I need to put my spark plug wires on. This thing needs a good once over, and I think there's a few plugs disconnected on this side. So, you know, the radiator's all plumbed, the oil cooler is in. We're like 95% done with this motor swap. Again, need to go ahead and buy all the fluids, but the motor's in there, folks. It's almost done. So that's about it for the video, folks. Appreciate you guys watching this time. Check back next time, and we'll be putting the front end on the car and possibly even getting this thing started. So thanks for checking out the video. Catch you guys next time.